Lisa and I met in high school. She grew up in Warfield and went to high school in Rossland. I went to Crow and grew up in Montrose. We reconnected years later and got married in 2006. Then we started our family. Stella is now 5 and Frankie is almost 2. We wanted to live in a neighborhood with character, one where we could walk to lots of places. The old Italian neighborhood of the Gulch really drew us in, and we both fell in love with this house. In Trail and Rivervale, there may be lead dust from historic smelter emissions. Lead dust can be found in many parts of the home and yard, including underneath flooring and carpets, behind walls, in attic insulation, in roofing shingles, and in soil. In all communities, lead-based paint can be a concern in any home built prior to 1976, when the government enacted legislation to limit the use of lead in paint or other home furnishings. Lead-based paint is a risk when in poor condition, either chipped or peeling, or when the painted surface is disturbed during renovations. Since we moved in 9 years ago, I've renovated almost every room in one way or another. When the kids came along, we knew we had to be safe about the way we went about each project. Young children are most vulnerable to lead dust that may be generated during renovations. Hand-to-mouth activity is how kids are most commonly exposed to lead dust. It can get in their mouths if it gets on their hands, the floor, or anything else they might touch. Young kids absorb lead more easily and their brains are developing rapidly. So, for anyone living in and working on our houses, especially those of us with young children, it's really important to know how to approach our renovation using lead-safe renovation practices. The key to keeping our family and ourselves safe during a renovation starts with preparing the work area. These videos will help you learn how to contain lead dust and avoid spreading it out of the project space. One of the first rooms we renovated was the living room. We ripped up the carpet, stripped the floor, and restained it. First, we closed off access to the entire living room, turned the front porch into a workshop, and used the back door to get into the house. This made sure we didn't walk through the renovation and spread dust all over the house. Dust is most often generated during the demolition phase when opening up walls, pulling out carpets, and removing old paint. One of the next projects at our house was our upstairs bathroom. I knew I had to be extra careful about minimizing dust with Lisa being pregnant with Stella at the time. I had to start from close to scratch, so all the old tiles and debris went into thick, heavy garbage bags and out the front door. I had the idea to put old pennies down to make a floor, which is easier than it looks, and was a whole lot of fun to do.
My dad thinks there's 2 pennies from the 1920s on my bathroom floor.
Throughout this video series, you'll get to see the proper techniques for using a variety of lead-safe materials and equipment. My best tip is to have a good quality shop vac on hand with a HEPA filter. It's better to suck up the dust rather than sweep it up and spread the dust around. The Trail Area Health and Environment Program loans out HEPA shop vacs to renovators, so there's no reason not to use one. Make sure you plan for your own personal safety. Each video outlines the proper clothing and safety gear you might need for the project at hand. You never know what you might uncover as you renovate. Be prepared for the unexpected and protect yourself when your best lead-safe efforts can't keep all the dust down.
Ready to go.
Lead dust is not the only potential health hazard you may encounter when you renovate. You may also encounter hazards such as mold, asbestos, silica, metals other than lead, or a number of other potential dust hazards that are common when renovating. Be aware that there may be specific procedures and qualifications needed to deal with these hazards. Following lead-safe work practices will help protect you from accidental exposure to these other hazards. We are invested in living here, raising our kids in this neighborhood, and being part of this community. We feel really lucky to have found a perfect home to raise our family here in Trail.